First stop is in the valley is Iznaga. Valle de los Ingenios, or Valley of the Sugar Mills. On the best day it would be a steam train, but that is not working right now, so we have a less than stellar locomotive, diesel locomotive. Y aquí son mis amigos de Madrid. ¿Cómo se llaman ustedes?
Yo soy María José.
Y
José.
José. Dos nombres muy español, ¿eh?
Sí.
Qué placer. So this couple is from Madrid, of all places. How wonderful. Okay, adios. Short excursions from Trinidad that you have to make are south to Playa Anco, that was last week's vlog, and north to Valle de Los Ingenios. And there's a lot of people here. And here we go. Let's see, it only takes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people, 6 people to run this thing as we head out of Trinidad. It's actually an 8-kilometer trip, quite short. Lush tropical vegetation of this rich area. Backed by the mountains. Nothing like a valley. Surrounded by mountains. First view of the valley and first view of the mountains. Sierra del Escambre, name of the mountain. Here's the view from the very front. And yeah, I've never done this before, but what the hell. So this is a view of the chauffeur. And these are the sophisticated controls as we head in that direction. Gracias. And here's me. That was me. Muchas gracias, señor. This is known as Manaca Iznaga. Its focal point is a tower here, but historically it was founded in 1750. The estate was purchased in 1795 by the dastardly Pedro Iznaga, who became one of the wealthiest men in Cuba through the unscrupulous business of slave trafficking. So that's what this is known for here. It is said that the 44-meter high tower next to the Hacienda was used to watch the slaves, and the bell in front of the house served to summon them. Slavery in Cuba, I believe, was ended in 1889. That's a pretty well a guess. But they were the second last to abolish slavery after Brazil. Tower to observe the slaves, the Hacienda in front of me. Entrance to the Iznaga Colonial House restaurant, known for its Cuban cuisine, live traditional music and dance, as well as exhibits. Manaca. Ah, Los Amigos. Behind the restaurant, a tour group gets an explanation of the sugar press in German. No problem finding German speakers in Cuba, since Cuba had close relations with the former German Democratic Republic known as East Germany, and many young Cubans studied there. The Hacienda, today's merchandising of souvenirs. The former houses of the slaves. Maybe. Che Guevara, the omnipresent Che Guevara. The slave tower. Gonna go up there. Pretty amazing that they built a tower to keep an eye on the slaves, but hey, there were no tracking bracelets that they would have preferred. They had to keep track of them visually, and this was the way to do it. So I'm now at the top of the slave tower. Good vantage point in all directions over the valley that used to be covered with sugar cane. Finally, a solid field of sugar cane. Seen previous snippets, but this is massive sugar cane. View from the tower to the railway station, and that's the train we came on right there. I wasn't far off in my guess about the end of slavery in Cuba. It was 1886. After more than 350 years of exploitation and cross-Atlantic transportation, Cuba became the second last country in the Americas to abolish slavery. Due to the virtual extinction of the native Cubans through contact with diseases brought by the European settlers and attrition through the poor treatment as slaves, it was necessary for the Spanish plantation owners to import slaves from Africa to work in the sugar fields and in the mills. By the mid-1800s, there were more than 1,300 sugar mills on the island, refining 450,000 tons of sugar crystal. This equated to approximately 30% of the annual supply for the whole world. At the time, about 370,000 slaves were dedicated to work on the sugar plantations. In the Valle de los Ingenios, or Valley of the Sugar Mills, there were about 50 sugar mills and 30,000 slaves. African slaves who were brought by force to Cuba by the Spanish conquistadors made major contributions to the formation of Cuban society. Here's a gentleman who fought with Fidel Castro and Che Guevara. ¿Cómo se llama usted?
Jorge Abreu.
Jorge Abreu. ¿Qué edad tiene, señor?
74.
74, sí. Cubans are of mixed heritage, Spanish descent, Black African descent, and Asian. At least 50% of the population is classified as mulatto, meaning mixed African and European descent. We are now in Guachinango. On its way back to Trinidad, the train stops at a ranch called Hacienda Guachinago, known for its restaurant, its horseback riding, and its beautiful scenery. So now we're with 4 people here from Spain, from Zaragoza and Madrid, about to tour the Hacienda Guachinango. 1.5 hours here. Hacienda scene. Flowering trees. Grazing horses. Running horses, colts. Look at that colt go. Wow. Cowboys. No, families. Those are... You can take a tour, a horseback tour here. That's one of the attractions. ¿Cómo se llama en cowboy en español?
Campesino.
Campesino. Entonces usted es un campesino.
Guajiro.
Guajiro. Guajiro.
Natural.
Guajiro naturale. What is that?
¿Conoce a Polo Montañés?
What?
Polo Montañés.
No.
Decía el Guajiro natural. Era un gran artista que falleció en un accidente de tránsito. Vivía en La Habana, en Pinar del Río.
Ok, no, nunca he escuchado.
For the group tour, The Good Life. The Good Life. Another buffet. What do we got here? Look at this. Oh, it's a piglet. It's on its last legs. A pig on its last legs. It's been done by. And that's what these people are getting over here. Right there, just for them. Just like in Uruguay. This little piglet is still being roasted, and you feel the heat coming off that. And this gentleman over here has the job of turning it in once in a while. Bet you it's tasty as hell. I love the rice and beans they have here in Cuba. And I guess that's plantain, fried plantain. There's a guy who likes skinny. So here comes the next piglet for the next tour group. Great place to come. Great setting. So the tables of tourists that are eating the piglet come out here mostly on Transgaviota tours. Whereas we came here the poor way on the train. And there's a couple that's joined by a rope in the heat, walking through the jungle. On the way to the river. So this lad is 4 years old, lives in this farmhouse here, and loves turkeys. Loves turkeys. Man, right now it's hot. It's hot. It's hot. The best seat in the house is right there at the end of the train. The gentleman is from Malaysia. Thank you for viewing my video on Valle de los Ingenios, a look into Cuba's fascinating history of sugar and slavery. Next week I'm moving on to Camagüey, a city that I found to have somewhat of a European flavor. See you next Friday.